financial redemption through passive income. So this 1% here, they have money working for them, not them working for the money. Until you discover that cycle whereby your money is working so hard for you to generate more money. Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you're sleeping, you will work until you die. Tough, but true. Because you are limited as a human being. How long can you work? You get tired. But today, I want to teach on passive income. How do we go about building a passive income? Next slide. And I want to differentiate between active income and passive income. Active income, this is where you work for money. You need to show up, work 8 to 5, even work extra hours to get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. And there's another person here who gets money even when you're not directly involved. You are in employment. You're exchanging your time, your effort, and you don't work, you don't get paid. You are in a self-employed business, and you work for yourself. Yes, you have a business. But can you afford to take a holiday, even 2 weeks from the business, and that business to run on its own? Do you have systems in place that will have accountability of the work that is being done and generate a cash flow for you? If not, then you are still on active income. And what the risk are most people facing in most families? Over reliance of active income. The day the active income is not there, you have no income as a family, as a household. And the other side, we have a passive. What I'm talking about, passive income. These people who have the big businesses, the 1%, you find people, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, you have Alibaba, you have different companies, Alphabet, the Google, and you find Meta. Yeah, these are people who own businesses, and these businesses are generating money. They have people working for them. You are on a Google, you are searching, you are checking your Facebook. These people are earning. You're using your WhatsApp. This person is earning. They are in big businesses. So you can build that stream of income. But you may not have the capital to build this channel or to have that big business, but you have another chance of becoming an investor. An investor, we are saying, they are the people that have money working hard for them. They play golf, and they are able to live a good life. You don't have to keep on chasing money throughout. This group here as an investor, it is people whose money are working hard for them. And the good news for everyone here is you can become an investor. You don't have to have billions in the account. You can start even with 1,000 to the journey of investment. Someone has said the journey they have taken in their businesses. You can also become an investor today. It will start step by step. We go next. Next. And why do you need a passive income? I know the line, the whatever are small, but one is the financial freedom. Financial freedom, here you are trying to avoid over-reliance of the active income. That you don't work, you don't get paid. But when you talk of the financial freedom, you have money working hard for you. The money you are getting passively, it is more than the money you are working. And hence, your commitment for work or why you work will change. But can you afford not to go to work and say, I want to pursue my passion, or my passion is in design, my passion is in music? Can I go and do the music? No. I have the bills to pay. I have the school fees to pay. So you end up working. Without those, what you said was a passion or area of your talent, you keep it aside and you say, I have first to meet my expenses. This is what we are calling financial freedom. You need to build a stream of income, a passive income that is able to be more, to grow more, and become more than your active income. At that point, you can say you are on the journey to financial freedom. But where you are always working to get money, to pay the bills and all that, you are still not yet on the journey to financial freedom. The other thing is retirement planning. Retirement planning, the quality of life you want to have retirement, and I know we have people here, the senior citizen, we have young people, the middle, and all that. Retirement, they will tell you it's real. It is coming at some point. But the young person today should take care of that old person there. The lifestyle you're having today should be planned How are you going to sustain that lifestyle in the retirement? So financial planning or retirement planning, you need a passive income. That is a spending phase. You'll always be that spending money. And at that point, what you'll need is cash flow. Cash flow is what you need. Money coming in, a reliable cash flow. And we'll talk about wealth building. If you're building wealth, it's a journey. As the way people are building businesses, you take time to build wealth. Yeah? And what will enable you is a passive income. Diversification, where you don't over-rely on active income, you have a passive income coming. You are building another stream of income. Maybe you are a professional, you are a doctor. You may not go out there and run a business. You don't have time. But you can build a portfolio that can be able to pay you a passive income. That's the good news I have for you today. You can start another stream of income from the salary that you get. Set aside that salary, it's a seed. And it's a seed that has the potential to grow to give you a passive income. And what does the word of God say? That he gives the seed to the sower and the bread to the eater. So are you an eater, or are you sowing that seed? Or is the money coming to spend all of it and then we go look for more money tomorrow? You know? So financial freedom, it will come through passive income. Next. This is an income versus age graph, whereby your income and how your age is moving. Between year 0 to 20, 25 there, this is the time you are dependent. You are in college, you're starting your internship. Between 25 there, 30, to between 55 to 60, it is what we call accumulation phase. That phase is where you are earning active income. You are working. The person who is doing all this work will take care of the person who's starting between 55 going all the way 60, 80. That is what we call a spending phase. And what will run you through that phase of your life, it is your passive income. So when you are working in this period of between 25, 30, all the way to 50, this is the accumulation phase. You are setting aside. You are setting aside. You are getting paid as a salary. You are doing a business. You are setting something aside that will take care of the next person on the retirement phase. The quality of life on the other side will depend on what you are doing on the accumulation phase of your life. Very important. We go next. So we have two people here with a different, what we call mindset or mentality. Because the way we do our businesses, the way we go about the relationship we have our money, it is mostly on the mindset that you were taught about money. And growing up, we didn't have this experience. We didn't have this information. Maybe luckily you got this information earlier, but people are also learning this information as of today, and even as with the time. And right now you have advantage of the technology. You can go to a YouTube channel, like we have a very YouTube channel that has a reach of information, Nabo Capital. You can learn about money matters. Yeah? So when you talk of, we have two people here, consumer and an investor. Consumer mentality, what does that person do? They get a gross income, the taxman takes their portion. Literally, you are supposed to be paid gross, and then you go pay the KRA their money, but they don't trust you. They take their share first, and then they give you. Because if you are given that money as a gross, definitely will not pay the taxman. So what does the taxman does? They tap from the source. Then whatever is left. On the consumer mentality, what they do, first of all, we are believers and we believe, pay your tithes and your offerings. Tick. Then next, what do we do on the consumer mentality? We start paying rent, you have mortgages, you are servicing, pay. When you pay the mortgage, the money goes to who? To the bank or the landlord when you pay rent. When you do shopping, you go to a Carrefour, the money goes to who? To the owner of the business. When you go transport or you're fueling your car, the money goes to who? To the owner of the petrol station. When you do entertainment, you take your family out for a dinner or for a lunch, the money goes to who? To the owner of the restaurant. When with friends, there's a friends, family, and black tax. When you give that money, the 2,000 you had in your M-Pesa and you send them for support, that money goes to who? For them. You're working for them. portion of your income is going to them. It's okay. When you are servicing your loan, the money is going to the bank or to the SACCO or microfinance, depending on where you're borrowing. Then we have another. So by that time, the consumer is done. When they have done all those, they have paid all those people, they are done now. Let's go look for more money. Then we have another versus investor mentality, who says the first thing they're getting their money, the taxman get their portion, they pay their tithes and support the work of God and the philanthropy. The next thing, they pay themselves. Pay yourself. We are coming to build a passive income. How are we going to build a passive income? By paying ourselves. You have to pay yourself first. And this definition, when I ask people about paying yourself, people have different definitions. They will say, I've worked so hard for the money, I deserve to go for a holiday. I deserve to eat well. I deserve to dress well. No, that's supposed to be in your budget. When you budget clothing, entertainment, and all that. Paying yourself should be money that you're setting aside for investment that is growing so that a year later you can see the value of that money. But if you're paying yourself by feeling good today, a years later, are you going to look back and say, I paid myself well January, I went for this holiday, I'm still feeling good at the end of the year? But if you have an investment that has grown and you can see value for your money, that is what we call paying yourself. So the investor mentality, they pay themselves first. And how much is the government taking from you? Almost 35% there. You need to pay yourself. You can even say, I'm paying myself 20. Depending on the level of commitment where you are, you have children who are going to school, maybe you're heading to retirement, or you are young, where you can even commit 70% of your income to paying yourself, to setting aside for tomorrow. And then now start paying others. Whatever remains after you paid yourself, now share with the rest. Mortgage, rent, transport, you share with all those people. But the first thing, you paid yourself. Next. Next slide. So you pay yourself. And when you pay yourself, what are you doing? You are investing. That money should not stay idle in the bank. You know something, people working in the bank here, they can tell you, the credit creation, it is the money that you leave in your account. When you look, the money is, you see, I have 200,000. That money is not there. The money is with the person who is doing hardware business. She went and took that money, she bought a lorry, she is expanding her business. But you can see the balance in the bank is 200 and you feel like you're happy. The money is not there. Someone else has already is working with your money. So never keep your money idle in the bank. You better have it in something I will introduce to you called money market fund, where it's earning interest, and you can be able to access that money. And I'm not against the businesses, the bank's business. They are potential employers and they employ big numbers and all that, but I'm here to do what you call financial redemption, and I have to show you the value of your money. So when you pay yourself, invest that money. You can invest in the real estate, in the treasury bills. I understand there was someone who spoke about bonds and treasury bills and money market funds, equities. These are stocks. You can invest there where the money is growing. When the money is invested, it generates an income. Yeah? This income is in form of either dividends. Maybe you are in a SACCO, you're getting some dividends at the end of the year. You are about some stocks, you're getting, the company has announced the profit, and they are giving the dividends, you are earning. You are in an investment like a money market, you are earning a return of, let's say, 16% currently on a compounded. Another thing I'll talk more is a compounding interest, where this interest is being compounded. And then, this is now what we are calling a passive income. You started by paying yourself. You have invested the money has come back to you because you paid others. You paid yourself before you pay others, and this you are paying yourself has been invested, is generating for you a passive income. This passive income now can go to funding your expenses. Yeah? You want to have a holiday? Your account, your investment account can take care of that. You're not spending on your seed capital. You're not spending on the salary, but as a result of what your money is working hard for you. That's why you can afford a holiday. And your investment is Moses and the team and the rest, they are working on your portfolio. And this is something we do for many people. Every month we pay them an income. There's one even who changes cars in 3 years. Every 3 years, she has to change a car from what we pay that client. She said, I don't want to drive old cars. 3 years, I'm changing my car from what you are building. So we build a portfolio for her. Every month, we are generating a good amount of interest for that client. Every 3 years, she has a strategy. Another one is education. Every term, education is taken care of by the interest. So you can build this portfolio, and I'll talk more about it next. So paying yourself. So how do you pay yourself if you don't plan your money? Do you have a budget? When I ask people this question, we all have the answer. I know my budget of head. Shopping, transport, clothing, entertainment, and all that, and my money is done. An investor ought to have a budget. It is work. As we have said, this is a process. A budget, financial planning. When we talk of the company, we talk of the corporate finance. How does a company raise money? How does a company spend money? And a company has a budget for financial year. Even the government, June, this month, the financial year, we'll see the financial year of the government has started. The budget says what? We have this money from the revenue, the taxes. These are the expenses we have as a government, and we have a deficit. We don't have enough money. What do? We can collect money from the Kenyans, introduce a tax, raise more money. You as an individual, if you have a deficit budget, what do? You have no one to go out there and tax. So you'll end up maybe you borrow. Sometimes you find yourself borrowing because the expenses are higher than the level of the income you have. So you'll always find yourself with KCB, M-Pesa, Fuliza, what. Any debt is addictive. It may seem small. It's been seemed like 5,000. You are borrowing at 10% or at 7%. But able to do the math of every month you are borrowing 5,000 at a return of, let's say, like 7.5 in a year. You are looking at borrowing 60,000 at 84%. Like you borrowed 60,000 in a year, it's very small. It's 5K only. Every month you realize I have a deficit of 5,000 in my budget. What do? I have an online platform, borrow 5K. But I'm borrowing at a rate of, let's say, 7.5. Right now it's even almost 10%. And these apps are everywhere. The borrower, we call them online borrower. They are popping up everywhere, popping up. So you end up borrow here. When you see this one is about to kick you out and you might be listed on the CRB, you borrow here, pay here. It is addictive. Debt is addictive. So you find yourself in that cycle. You'll not even think of investment. Why? Because you are getting into a hole, and always we tell you, if you find yourself in that hole, stop digging deeper. Stop, and you need a help. You need to stop there. Yeah? You need an investment advisor. The way you have a doctor, the way you have a lawyer, the way you have a police in case you have a problem on the road, you need an investment doctor. You need an investment advisor in your life. Sometimes we say, we know these things. I know about money. I am a professional. Even myself, with my experience, I have an advisor. I sit with him and I'm like, what do we do about this education portfolio for my children? Where do I get this money from in my budget? And he tells me these are the reality. And I have the experience, 10 years of investment. I have the CFAs, I have the whatever. I know about money. But telling the reality, like talking to myself, Moses, this is what you need to do. I have an accountability. You do have an accountable partner, financial accountability. Do you have someone who can walk with you? You can share the vision that you are looking for. So it is a journey, and we are here to start this journey. Next. So financial planning, next. It involves budgeting. In financial planning, you are taking all your resources, your income, your active income. Do you have a passive income? Do you have a business that gives you maybe 10,000 or 20,000? Can you add that? Do you have a skill that you can monetize? Yeah? Maybe you can be able to write. You can take something extra on your weekend when you have free time. What do you do with your skill? Maybe you can do consulting in your area and raise an extra income. So what I'm advocating today, it is that you have a budget, but this budget should tell you that you need to increase your means of making money, streams of income. Our pastor Lucia said she has a chicken business. She's having some chicken at home. That's a source of an income. On top of what she's doing every day, this is a source of income. What can you do with your free time and the resources available to you? So, budget and financial planning should tell you, you assess the resources you have, you create a strategy to achieve those financial objectives over a period of time. Time is of essence. And never be told of getting rich overnight. No. Investment is a journey. It can take you even 10 years. It can even take you 15 years or 20 years. It involves one current financial situation. You identify the goals and the needs and develop a plan how to achieve those goals. Next. Next slide on the budgeting. So, how do you go about financial planning? The first tool you need to have is a budget. You need to have a budget. The way we say a compass is important to a sailor, the same way a budget is an important tool to an investor. You cannot ignore and say, I know my expenses, I have cash flows coming and all that. But a budget tells you how you spend. It's your compass as you move this journey. So in your budget, it has an active income. It has a passive income, all the sources of your income, active income, passive income, and then pay your tithes, philanthropy work, and then pay yourself before you start paying others. That's something I'll talk today. If you don't get anything else from this session, just know that I've told you, you need to pay yourself, and you pay yourself through savings and investing that money. The money kept in the bank is not enough. There are enemies to that money that you are keeping that is not growing. One of them is inflation. Inflation, it is a persistent increase of cost of goods without increase in the quantity. It is an increase. Like when you check the bread right now, it's going for 65 shillings. If you reflect back when you were in high school, how much was the bread? Same gram, in fact, is even less right now, I think. Same gram, maybe you bought it at 10 shillings, 5 shillings. There are people who tell you they bought it in 2 shillings, depending on the time. But the same bread right now is costing 65 to 70 shillings. What has happened? It's inflation. It's a cost. Yeah? It's a cost of living. When we say economy ni ngumu, tunamaanisha nini? It is a cost of living. The inflation, the cost is increasing. So your money your money ought to grow. To be able to outpace that inflation, you need to grow. When the government says inflation in Kenya is at 5% or 7%, what does that mean to the purchasing power of your 100 shillings? It means 100 shillings is worth now 93 shillings, like the value. It is 100 shillings you are holding. The balance I'm talking about, you go into the ATM or online and see, I have 1 million, or I have 200,000 or 500 seated in the bank. I am okay. That's the beginning of the January. December, you come and see, I still have my 500,000. It is still in the bank, or the 200,000 I have, I'm still okay. You are not okay. The purchasing power of that money has reduced over time. So that money ought to grow. That money ought to be invested and grow at an interest rate which is higher than the inflation. And the benchmark we use is the government treasury bills. If the treasury bills rate are giving 15%, make sure that you are investing in an interest environment that is within that bound. Of course, there are higher returns you can chase. But as an investment professional, I'll tell you, don't chase the returns. Work on how you can manage your risk. The return will take care of itself. If you go out there chasing for returns, you'll be given a higher return everywhere. But the risk you are taking, it can erode your money the following day. So whenever you are offered a higher return or you are chasing a higher return, ask yourself, what is the risk that I can lose my money, all of it, in a single day? It happens. The return may be good. So the return is not enough motivation for your investment. The thing is growth. And I'm talking of gradual. It's a process that we are growing. So, have a budget. Next slide. Next slide. On the budget. So, an example of a budget here, what you may say a budget calculator, how it looks like. And these samples are online. If you go, you can get a budget online, or you can work on yourself. If you're not good in an Excel, you can have a book where you highlight an income, your expenses. There is what we call fixed expenses and discretionary expenses. Fixed expenses, these are, in a month, I have to pay my rent, I have to pay school fees, I have to pay my car insurance, groceries, all those things. It's just an example I've put there. The numbers are not whatever, but I'm just trying to show you how the budget. So in this case, we have someone, he's earning 500,000, or even 250, or 50,000, or 30,000. And the budget is not for the rich. At the one who are earning $1 million. No. Even you earning 10,000, you plan that money. You plan that money. If you started working from school, you need to set aside something for investment. Don't say you still have more time. You haven't gotten, the contract is yet to be confirmed. Once it's confirmed, I'll start saving because I'll be paid more. That money will come and you still save that. I wait 1 year. Every beginning of the year, people are making financial decisions, resolutions for new year. This year, I'm going to invest. January, you say, January ilikuwa na mambo mingi, tunalipa school fees, sijui tunafanya nini, wacha tuanze kuinvest February. February inakuja, unasema inaweza ngoja kidogo. It is human behavior. When we talk of a behavior of finance on how people interact with the money, we tend to attach different value to different money. The money that is meant for rent, or school fees, that money you tend to give it a lot of importance. You can't joke with that money. But the money you say, this is for my investment, you say, this month, naweza fanya hii kitu, next month I will go back. You find yourself spending. And what are you doing? You are not securing your tomorrow. The person we said, the older person, and it's not more about the retirement. The retirement is not when you have worked and you are tired and you don't have energy, then you say, I'm retiring. No. The retirement is when you feel like I can go and pursue my passion. I can go and do my things. Why? I'm not over-relying on active income. I have a passive income coming. So you can go and say, I am changing what I do to something else. Even if it's not even giving me money. It could even something giving back to the community. Because all your needs are taken care of. We have one of our clients, she was funding the youth tech startups from her salary. She was earning well that time. But he said, can NABO help me build a portfolio that can be able to fund these tech startups from the interest? I know the success rate may be 40%. Some of them will not be succeed, but I would be happy if I have like 5% or 10% of those startups going through, but my portfolio remains. And we did the portfolio projections and we started. It is 5 years now. She's changing lives out there. By investing her income, her portfolio, her capital, it is intact. The interest is what she's pursuing. Even you can start, maybe you say you want to do a foundation or something to help the needy, but do you go back and drain your pocket? No, you can build a passive income to that effect. So on my budget, they identify all the sources of your income in a month. The next phase, put the budget there. On the next phase, you have your expenses. Highlight them. They're fixed in a month. If you know in a month, you need 200,000. You need 150 for your expenses. Next, go back. You know in a month, your expenses, they look like this. Track that number. Let it not be a preptic. Like today, I spent 150,000. There was bonus that came. My expenses went to 200. The next month, I am straining to maintain that lifestyle. I have to go and borrow. No. Track that number, fixed expenses. How much is it? Water, airtime, eat out. Do you count how much you pay for lunch? Yeah? If then your budget doesn't allow you to eat out, you carry food from home. That's the beauty of budget. Where do you shop? Maybe you say, I like going to the supermarket where the vegetables are very clean. They have some light illuminated there. They look good. But you're paying price for that. Maybe the budget will tell you, you need to wake up early in the morning and go to the market. The vegetables there may not be clean, but they come home, you clean them, you'll save something. The budget will tell you, where do you fit? It will tell you, here, you are yet to get here, come back. As you pay yourself, So those are expenses. Take care of them. Discretionary, they are the expenses that come. Sometimes they are not planned. They don't come every month. But unapigiwa simu, kuna matanga nyumbani, kuna kitu, kuna nini, unatuma. Kumefanyika. At the end of the day, you are sacrificing money, maybe for school fees. And these things comes when you have income, maybe it's a payday, and you don't have a budget, you go to a mall, everything is very affordable. You go to an electronic shop, you realize, ile TV yangu ni ndogo, ama inazeeka, haitoi picha vizuri, tunaweza upgrade. Ama unakuta kuna offer, unaenda na TV nyumbani. But what have you done? Financial suicide. What you've just done is money that was meant even for paying yourself, it is gone to a depreciating asset. The moment you step out with that screen out of that shop, it's no longer the same, the price. It's maybe even 70 or 50% if you go to even sell it to the next buyer out there. But that's what we do. So budget is a compass. It's what you need as an investor. The next item you need to track on your expenses, on your budget, there are 3 ratios. The 3 ratios, one of them I'll talk about, is what you call your expenses or cost to your income. What percent of your expenses to the income you get? Are you spending everything? You are spending, maybe your expenses are 99% of your income. You are on the red because you can't pay yourself. You can't set aside something for investment. So we tell people, you need to track that figure, how your expenses are moving versus your income. Debt is another thing. Debt ratio to your income. What percentage of the debt you have? How much money is going out there? Yeah, it's maybe a good debt and a bad debt. There are 2 things. Good debt is something that you took and you invested. Maybe you bought land, you boosted your business, it's doing well, it's giving you an income, you are able to pay that loan. That's a good debt. But maybe you took a loan and you spend. It's a holiday time. We have leave days, or government has given us 3 more days for holiday, for like the school, when it was extended with 1 week. You realize, what can I do with this 1 week? I don't have money, but I have time. You borrow. That's the moment that money is spent, it's a consumer mentality. You spend that money, it's gone. You'll pay that money plus interest. You are digging a hole. So that is supposed to be monitored, your debt to income ratio. The next thing you need to check is your investment, savings stroke investment to your income. How much are you setting aside for paying yourself? Is everything going towards expenses, paying loans, and you're left with nothing? That should tell you, and that's what I've shown you. This person has an income of like 800. Their expenses is like, maintain them as low. And as you upgrade with a strategy. As your income is also growing, something to tell you is called the law of money. What does the law of money say? As your income is increasing, you'll always find yourself increasing your expenses to meet the new level of your income. When you are paid a salary of 50,000, you are very comfortable. You didn't even have debts. But when the income has increased to 200, you start saying, this environment is no longer safe for me. I need to move. Maybe near the road, or there is a police station, or where, the rent upgrades. The car I was driving, I think this car is not serving the purpose. The kind of the people I'm meeting, the deals I'm doing and all that, I need a bigger machine. The bank is already there. Finance, I have life examples of people who have shifted their life, someone moving from life of Don home to the way of Kilimani, income, rent of 25 to 30,000, moves to 85,000. A car, Toyota, upgrade to a German machine with a loan. The pay slip is very good. So bank will give you an asset. They upgrade into assets, import furniture, and they are good. By the time we were sitting with this client was in debt. This client has an income, but the remaining money, whatever they are getting for them, they don't even check their balances. They are deducted everywhere because of the loans. So the issue is not the income. Money you'll earn, you'll make money. God has blessed the work of our hands. But how are you a good stewards of that money? Are you setting aside for tomorrow? Are you becoming, when we talk of the talents, they were all gifted. Each one given. They went and multiplied. But we have this one who went and hid a talent and came to the master and told the master, I put your money aside. Say the money you are keeping in the bank. He told them, I kept money somewhere, and here it is the way you give it to me. The master asked him, you should even go to the banks. They should have multiplied the money, even if you don't want to work. You should have multiplied the money. So what does that tell you? First of all is the accountability. The money you are given, God is giving you. There's an accountability. God wants to see how you're doing with that money. Yeah? It is not only for you alone. It is also for changing the world, financing the God's kingdom, reaching out to the unreached out there. So there is a responsibility. When you make a prayer, God always is assessing. Are you going to pray, God, give me an income, then you upgrade your lifestyle? Or is there something, when you get blessed, is someone else getting to feel the blessings that you have? Or it's a lifestyle. Change everything. Upgrade. So budgeting. Let me go back. I'm not a pastor, but I just thought that's a good word to share. But it's accountability. So paying yourself. Go back. Go next. So budget. You need to budget. You need to know your money, sources of your money, how you spend that money. First of all, pay yourself, pay others, and you need to track. It's a work. People will tell you budgeting is work. I cannot. They'll do 1 week and all that. But everything that is worth, you need to put the work. Then you come to something we call net worth analysis. Do you know what is your net worth? And on the net worth analysis, here we are saying the way the company has a balance sheet and say, these are our assets, we have money in this marketable security, the investment, we have a building, we have a land, we have vehicles, like our sister there, or the one with the hardware. She has assets that assist her in her business. And she has the house she generates revenue. And she can tell when she's in the money and when she is not making money. Yeah? As an individual, you ought to have that net worth analysis. And the first assignment I'm giving you here, I may not come to assess, but I believe you'll do the assignment, is first have a budget. If you don't have a budget today, go sit down, go even to YouTube, check how do you come up with a good budget, get an Excel, even draft yours, And we even have an investment consultant here. You'll talk to them after this. Have your budget and see how that money is spent. The next assignment is your net worth analysis. When we say someone is a high net worth individual, what do we mean? When I was talking the 1%, the H and Y percent of the world that are controlling the wealth, what they have assets. And what is an asset? Let me define that. An asset, it could be a business. An asset is something that generates cash flow to you. It could be if you have land, like she has the chicken, the business. As long as it's generating a cash flow versus the expenses you have, it's an asset. We have what we call dead assets. Land, I'm not against building a good home in the village. I know there's a discussion that was on Twitter, someone taking a photo in the village and say a dead asset. And I know we have that and we need that house in the village, but how do you finance getting that house? Are you taking a loan and go build that house, which you sleep maybe once a year? when you go there in December. It is not giving a cash flow. Yeah? It is just there. End of the year, I'll have this house worth 10 million in the village. Well, this 10 million could generate around how much, Mr. Wekesa, in a month if this was invested? The 10 million, if we're investing in a money market fund. 100,000. This house in the village worth 10 million, has a capacity of paying you a passive income of 100,000 monthly. In a year, you have 1.2 million. Interest, net of tax, net of management fee, your money, 1.2. And you can go and say, in fact, I don't need the house of the 10 million. I can do a 3 million from the interest or 4 million and be able to live in that house when I go there while money is working. I'm not saying you be mean to yourself, to the society expectation. Maybe wewe ni muheshimiwa, wanakutambua in the village. You need to have that big house. But is your cash flow? Is your lifestyle, are you going to sustain? Are you going to tell your children, we have this big house, but today we don't have anything to eat, but you have a good house, we are staying in a good neighborhood. We have a loan we are servicing. They don't care. The children want bread, they want whatever, they are doing whatever. So what you need is cash flow. The passive income. It is what you need. So as you build everything else, just realize that the power of that 100,000 you have, the 10,000 you have, 1,000 you have, the power that money can grow in a compounded and pay you a passive income. So on my net worth, let me go to the net worth analysis, which I will give you as an assignment too. Net worth, go sit down and assess all your assets. If it's a dead asset giving you no cash, indicate how much. If you're to sell that, indicate. It is appreciating in value, but also you need to check what percentage of appreciation. If it's a land, idle land, you are checking over appreciation, or maybe you are talking of 3% or 5%. And when you're buying property, what are the drivers? I know there are people here in the property market. There are value additions where you go and buy those properties. Maybe there is no land, it is proposed it will come. Once land comes, the road is there, water, electricity, the property increases. You buy plot next here, unless you put an apartment for value addition of that land, the appreciation may remain something like 4 or 5%. What is the inflation in the market? You're talking of 6%. Is your return on the investment able to match the cost of living? How much will you flip that plot 5 years later? So people say land, and I come from that. People who believe in tunaita mchanga wa Kikuyu, gateli. We believe in that a man must have a plot and all that. But is that plot generating you the cash flow? Is it appreciating in value the way you'd want? If I have a need, what is the process of liquidating that to the need? Or will I be forced to go to my circle and borrow, use my land, and go and borrow an equivalent amount of the land and continue paying? You know, you get it? I have a land that I can flip in the market, but I don't even have a buyer. I'm saying I'm going to give it the next 10 years so that it can whatever. If you track that and you sit with an investment, we do those models, we do evaluations, it will tell you where you stand with your property. We have seen people at the retirement, someone is coming and tell us, can you help me sell me my plots? They are all over. I have a lot of them, but I don't have a cash flow. Can you help me sell them and put it in a portfolio that will be paying me monthly income? Because at the retirement, what do you need? A passive income, a steady income coming every month. You could have that asset, but you could end up sleeping hungry without the money, or you end up borrowing and you have the asset. Next. So, highlight, go back. I know Mr. Amunga, I think we are on the time, We can take Q&A here, and then we'll come back and continue how to build portfolios that will pay you. That will be my next. Different portfolios that aligns. That will be my next. So here I'm showing you where do you get money to invest. Here, check on all your assets. your savings account. The money is seated idle in the bank. Maybe it's earning some interest. Check. Is that interest enough? Is that the best your money can work for you? You have a life insurance. You have employment pension. How much is your pension? Sometimes we don't even track how much our employer is contributing and how much we are contributing. We just know I have a pension. So today, I want to emphasize that you need to be on the driver's seat of your money. You need to be on the driver's seat of your life, of your money. You don't let people at the money is in the bank, the employer has a pension. You need to know, how is my pension doing? Is it growing? You know, when you go to those AGMs for the pension, the trustee and all that, do you ask a question, how did my pension grow this year? Or you are just, pension, itanilipa uzeeni. It should grow and also grow with respect to the inflation. Next, put the slide. Check on your pension. Investment portfolio. Maybe you bought these shares. You have some shares, you said, they keep on going up, they keep whatever, I don't even track. Ziko pale tu. But you just say, I have shares. But how much are they? What's the value of those? You have a bond. What kind of a bond is it? Is it an infrastructure bond that pays you coupons? You just know every 6 months I'm paid interest. You went to a broker, he bought you a bond, but you don't even track, you don't even know. When the interest rate is going up, what is the impact on your bond? If you go and sell it today, let's say you bought a bond at 13%. If you go in the market today to sell that bond, you will sell it at a loss. Do you make those decisions? Do you know if the broker is selling for you at a loss or at a gain? So there are factors that you need to know. So today, the way you are very keen on other aspects of your life, your health. Ladies know, I see in the house some matawi, some tea bags. She takes and she tells me this is helping in this is helping in this. The self-care, I see it. This is, for ladies, they are very sensitive on that matters. They check a lot. But how is your money? Do you take the same effort to check your money? Or your children, the way you are very keen, I want to know, they have eaten, they have good whatever, environment at home. The way you are very concerned about that, do you assess the same about your money? Or you are just like, tutafute pesa, every day, wake up looking for money, 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 money. Warren Buffett said, if you don't get a way of making a passive income, earning money when you're sleeping, you'll die working for money. So, assess the asset you have. Your car. I put it there as an asset because for movement. My car helped me move to get meetings, to go do my work. I term it as an asset. But if I bought the car, I only use it on Sunday. It could be good, or maybe Saturday. But at the other side, maybe I even took a loan to have that car. Is it serving the purpose? How much? If I took a loan, how much is the interest? Is it a liability or is it an asset at that point? So depending on the usage, she'll tell you her worries. Her worries are asset to her. She wants to deliver that order that has been given. She'll be paid on that. It helps to maintain that business running. It's an asset. So check on that. That shamba, how much is values of that land? Put it there. That house, if you are to sell it, the value, put it there. Yeah? Then have those are total what we call household. As a family, what is your household worth? When you say people are high net worth, then move to liabilities. This is where you're checking money that you are paying out there. Maybe you have a credit card that you are paying. How much is the interest attracting to that? You have a bank loan. That bank loan you took, did it go to the right use? And if you took it for the right use, is money that where you invested able to repay it or to service that loan? Or you are going back to your pocket from your salary to repay that thing? You need to assess the kind of investment you did. And then you need to check on the interest. Sometimes the bank will call you for loans. The moment they see balance, a good balance in your bank, they will entice you. Mr. So-and-so, you qualify for a credit card. Mr. So-and-so, you even qualify for an overdraft. Then you on the other side, because your budget, it is not aligned, you realize this is an opportunity I can utilize. It's not an opportunity. It is a a commitment. It's a debt you are getting into. So you take the money, you have the money in the account, and you start thinking, what project can I do with this money? Or you went to borrow, you are told you qualify. Like yesterday, I remember we were having a meeting. We have me and my boys from high school. We formed an investment group when we lost one of us, some like 6 years ago. No, actually, it's almost 10. So when we met and we said, what can we do to remember the friend and also to keep us together? We started many people. We were like 50. But we said, can we have an investment goal? And we started the journey as many. The people commitment. When the money comes into place, they keep on going. We only 13 people. And we went and formed a company. And we said, because we want to build something that is beyond us. So this I'm reflecting to your charmer, the charmer you have out there. How can you convert that merry-go-round to an investment? You know, not exchanging. This time we give Mr. Munga 10,000. We give Mr. Wekesa. We give Pastor Lucy next month 10,000. The inflation is growing, but the money we are giving her in December, it is not the same as what we give Mr. Munga in January. It is not. So they made go out. So we said, can we have a company and have a structure? We started first as a self-help group. But we realized we cannot own more because of the tax and all that. We converted that to a company where all of us are directors, we have shareholders. So yesterday, we had this account with Unitas, and we went to assess, sorry to mention the company, the institution, but we went, me and others people, the committee, investment committee, we went to assess, we bought land. Of course, when you are in a group, you have to assess the risk of everybody. If for me, I'll take that money even to a bond. But if there's someone in the group who doesn't understand about the bond, they are very comfortable about the land. Then we say, what kind of a land are we buying? So we've bought few of them. And the goal is to buy a bigger chunk where we can be able to subdivide, get a more value for that. And even if everyone get a plot there and they do what they want, it's good. So this time we were checking for a facility. Our capability, what we were going to check from the bank, from the institutions, we qualify for that because of our monthly contributions. And they tell us, you can even apply more. You qualify, in fact, not this, you qualify more. Then I asked them a question, what is the interest on the extra and the refinancing? They give me they tell me 18%. 18%. And then I assessed. My guys, they were like, okay, seems like, and I told them, no. You are taking a loan at 18% to service in the next 5 years. The kind of the investment you are going to do is a property that will appreciate in 6%. So we are paying 3 times of how much the asset is going to appreciate, and we are saying we are in the investment business. We are not. At the end of the day, we'll pay these guys almost times 2 of what the value of that land is appreciating. So those are the maths. And I told them, let's go think. We qualify that facility, but it doesn't meet our purpose at this time. So we tell the people, let's go down, let's zero down. Can we even put that money in the money market fund where it's earning something and grow it passive-free as we think of something? So in short, what I'm saying is, as a group, you can plan to invest, see more value for that group, grow that money to be able to benefit the members. So liabilities, the loan you are taking, get to know what interest is it taking from you. Is it a short term? And the goal is try to reduce these loans as much as possible. If you have a loan that is taking too much interest from you, work on a strategy to clear that loan as soon as possible. The longer you are staying with that loan, the more it's taking money from you. And the more the happier the bank, the more the happier the shareholder of the bank or the institution where you are borrowing. You are good borrower, you pay on time, you pay good interest. The shareholder is happy. The investor on the other side is happy who have bought the shares of that KCB bank or the Equity or the Safaricom. Yeah? So, work and understand the interest, understand the terms, and determine the repayment. The one you see, value you got is not equivalent to what you are paying. Work on a strategy to clear it faster. Knock the principal, reduce the running balance, and you're able to save yourself from the interest you are paying on that loan. Next. businesses. Oh, sorry, go back. On the other side of the analysis. The other? Yes. So those loans, circle loan, mortgage balance, other debt, put all of them there. And then take the assets, minus the liabilities, and see where you are. Are you on the positive or the negative? Are you a high net worth? If your assets on the top are more than your liabilities, then you can say you have a positive or you have a net worth. Your net worth is this amount. Maybe it's 1 million, it's 5 million, it's 10 million. That's how you do the analysis. And you keep on checking. If I take a loan, what is the impact on my other side of the investment? Have I invested to grow the asset part of it? Is the asset appreciating in value? Is the asset paying me interest? And that, keep on building the asset part of it. And more so, you need to balance. Don't just have the 100 or 90% of your investment are in illiquid asset that the day you decide to sell, it will take you a whole year selling that, looking for a buyer. Without, you will find yourself borrowing, waiting for a buyer to buy the land or to buy the asset. So net worth analysis, if you find yourself in the negative, it means your liabilities are more and you need to work on a strategy to get out of debt. If you do the math and you realize your debt is taking like 40% or 50% of your income, you need to work on a strategy on how to reduce those debts, because they are reducing your power to grow wealth and to create passive income. So I'll stop there. I'll take Q&A. I know we have a session 2 where I'll take it to the next level, and I'll take questions now at this point. A comment? A question?
Good morning. Mine is a clarification that I need. When you said we need to be at the driver's seat of the money that we've invested either in retirement or money just sitting in the bank, does this translate to trust issues to do with financial institutions? That's my question.
Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know, between investing in SACCOs and investing in money market fund, what can you advise on the same? And maybe you can talk more about money market fund so that we can be able to get it right.
Okay. Okay. Yes, there's a question there.
Thank you very much for that insightful presentation.
Thank you.
My question is on partly what he has asked. Maybe it's on the regulatory framework for all these investments. Most of us have a concern on the stability of the market, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, the banks, the fixed deposit accounts. Maybe from your experience, you could highlight to us between the treasury bills, the treasury bonds, the money markets, the fixed deposit accounts, the NSC, which is the more safest for us to put our money. Second, because we can be in different classes in terms of what one can call their savings. Probably if one has between 1,000 to 10,000, which among the pools of funds is advisable? If one has 100,000 and above, what becomes the option? And maybe someone has 10 million and above, what is the best scale, or what is the best pool to go into? Thank you very much.
We can take the last. Yes, there's a question here. Okay, yes, please.
Right, thank you. Good morning, all. My question would go to almost the same as they have asked, but I would clarify on bonds. When it comes to government bonds,
Bonds.
you take a bond of 20 years, a bond of 3 years, a bond of 15 years. Now, the interest of today, when you look at the 20 years to come, that value will not be as it is today. So when you're looking at a bond of 3 years and a bond of 20 years, what would you advise and what will take care? Because if I take a bond of 20 years or 15 years at an interest of 14 or an interest of 13, could be today I'm getting 30,000 as a return or as a option. So what will take care of that inflation when it comes to the 15th year? Because I don't think it will change the interest. So what can I do to cater for that inflation? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take last one here, then I can answer. I see there are many. This tells me the class people are attentive and they want to learn. Okay. Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. Would be glad also to hear about the performance of Nabo Capital and how can we participate in the money that you make. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, there's another question there.
We appreciate the session you've taken us. It's very educative. Thank you so much. Mine, I would ask about owning a house. So there's an argument we had with our friend that they were saying that owning a house may be a liability and maybe on part of it can be an asset. So you can tell us if you own your own house and maybe you're not paying rent, how is it? Maybe to the people who have not built, is it okay maybe to pay rent and maybe to invest and build your house on interest instead of taking a loan and building your own house? Please emphasize on that. And also, I would ask about pension, yeah? So most of us, maybe the pension is paid by the employer, and we are not able maybe to assess or to ask more about it. So what will we do about following up on pension? Because maybe the employer will not give you access to ask about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the last one. Let's take this last for this session. And we take this as the last, but I'll try as much as possible.
Thank you for such a presentation.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. It's very informative. I look on the second part of expenditure. Do we have a balanced card that can help somebody to know that if it's going to the red in terms of your expenditure portfolio? Number two, on investment groups and institutions, do we have a regulatory framework for them? Because some years ago, there were investment groups that actually came through churches and all that, and people were able to put their money and all that, resources, others borrowed to invest with very good promises of income. Unfortunately, they never saw the light of the day, and some people even, I know they committed suicide because of loss of income. So do we have regulatory framework for investment groups that people can trust? Or is it also companies that form and then they come and say, we can guide you into the investment portfolios? Thank you.
Great. I'd like to talk to our moderator. How many minutes do I take before we break? Thank you. He has given me about 8 minutes. So the first question was, why do you need to be on the driver's seat? Is it that we don't have a confidence with our financial institutions? And my question is simple. Everyone out there, they are there to look for their interest. There is a regulator, but if it's a bank, how does a bank make money? They make money by the spread of their loans versus the deposit you're making. They give you like 5% or 3%. It's a return, it's okay. But they are lending the same money at 18% when you go to borrow. The bank makes that cut. So everybody is out there to make their cut. You may think that the institution is working for you. It's giving the interest. But is that interest enough? Are you getting the best deal of your money? When you talk of the pension, you'll find a pension has given you negative return, 0 return. They declare 0 return this year. And we'll give it a lot of explanations. It was the bond performance, the interest rate, a bit of a technical, whatever we do. But is there something that their fee, are they still taking their fee? And how does that look like even when you're making a loss? So the question, the thing is, there is a framework on how the company, but the bank or the institutions will always maximize their numbers. But you need to know, when we talk of investing with purpose, this money I am committing, there should be a reason why I am investing this money. And that's why I say the next slide, I will talk about investing with purpose, whereby any investment you are making should have a purpose, should have a goal that is pegged to anywhere your money is going. If it's your pension, have you determined how much you will need in retirement? Do you know how much you will need during the retirement and say, I'll have a comfortable life during the retirement? If you know, then it will come back and work the numbers and say, how my pension is growing and how my income is growing is not enough. So I would say, yes, there is a regulator. We've seen banks collapsing. We've seen institutions going down. The market is regulated. But as an investor, you need to be out there. Sometimes there's a lot of information. You need to know, even when the institution is not doing well, you can't just sit there. We've seen companies collapsing. But before then, there are always some red flags. Financial distress setting in. You make a withdrawal, you're not getting your money in a month. Stories come. You know, it is telling you where. I'm not encouraging for a run where you go withdraw your money from a circle because of this. No. But I'm saying there are signs. When you are on the driver's seat, you realize, are you getting the best deal or not? There's a question on the regulatory. Question 3 and question 9. Question 9. I would say yes. Banks are regulated by the Capital Market Authority. The central bank is what regulates the banks, the microfinances, and all that. When you come to the investment, stockbrokers, fund managers, we are a fund manager. And I will ask the one maybe doing the screen if he is able to search for me, Capital Market Authority, the website. And then you go to something we call list of licensees. All the institutions that are licensed by the fund manager. That should be your first check. Whenever you are presented with an investment opportunity, check, is this person within the CMA regulation? If they are not, what kind of an opportunity they are presenting to me? Is it a stockbroker? Is it a fund manager? Is it a derivative? Whatever we have investment called derivatives and all that. There's a bit of work on it there. Is it, what do you call this? Dealers? Is it an online foreign exchange, whatever, dealer? What kind of a license they're holding? Because those licenses, they tell you also in terms of the riskiness of those of those regulated institutions. If you are taking a license of a stockbroker, there is a scope of the work you can do. And there's a scope as a fund manager you can do. There is a scope of an investment bank you can do. So you need, if someone is able to check for me, the CMA website on the list of licensees. Just check the CMA website if you're able to project that. Okay, it's loading. So you're able to go there and see the institution I'm working with, is it a licensed or not? If it's not, people have lost money. I'll come here and present and tell you these are the returns. And mostly the people in the kingdom, we've lost a lot with the people who have come on the pulpit, like what I'm doing today, presenting good opportunities, and then you end up taking opportunity. As a professional, I am a professional. We are all fall under the body of the Capital Market Authority. For us to engage you, we have a license. We have a license. We are bound with the codes of ethics. So anyone selling you an investment, also just try to find out which bond are they. Or is it someone you just read the news and say, I can advise just people there? Is there a body that guides this person as they do? Or someone is trading Forex and comes and say, I can make for you a return. Give me your money, give me your money. I multiply your money and all that. Just go, you need to go beyond and also assess the person presenting the information. Am I here to sell? No. The first thing actually, I'll talk about the money market, the performance, I'll tell you about it. But the first thing is a financial redemption. How do you go about it? By the end of the day, I'll show you how our funds are performing. But the main goal when you sit with an investment consultant, even Mr. Wekesa, you sit with him, he will not ask you, how much are you investing? He'll first ask you, what is your goal? He'll go beyond and check, what is your experience in terms of investment? So that he knows, it's like a doctor. When you go to a doctor and tell him, I'm feeling here, he'll ask you, when did you start feeling that? We go beyond. We evaluate your needs, and then we recommend. We don't just now come on the other way side and tell you, this is going to give you money, buy this. It may not make the returns. As I said here, don't chase for returns. Don't chase to double your money. You can be working to double your money, but you're working to lose the same money. So that's a question. On the regulatory framework, like for money market fund, there's a slide. I don't know if you're able to move forward. The person who was assisting on the other side. Actually, I have 1 minute. Let me tackle the other question before that comes. Amount to invest. Amount to invest is different for everyone. The goal is what will determine, are you investing enough or not? And the budget. Why did I take time to take you through the budget? To identify how much you are paying yourself. And I said, you pay yourself between 20 to 30% there, set aside for that investment with a commitment. Just know, how are you progressing? Is income increasing? Set more aside for investing. If you don't have much obligations, you just got your job, you are young, and all that, you can commit 60% of your income. Try to maintain your expenses as low as possible. Around 60%, there is what we call the 20-30 rule, but I think for me, I would say 60% if it's going to the expenses. The taxman has already taken their part. Your budget you should have at least 30% going to the investment. Well, the 60, and when you're getting to 70, 80 of your expenses, you are on the red. Because it means 80% of your money is going to the expenses. 90% of your money is going to the expenses. Some are even at 105, meaning they are spending everything they are earning and borrow to meet their budget. What does that tell you? You are on a journey. You've not checked your oil. You have not checked your tank. You are heading, and where you are heading, you will not get there. These debts, this money going out there, they will slow you down. Your journey you may not get to your destination. So you need to first assess, what are these items? And when you do your budget, it will tell you the wants and the needs. The needs, these are some of the things you can't do without. If you want to know something is a need, try to postpone 3 days and say, for 3 days, I don't want to have this thing. If the third day and the fourth day you come and realize, I still need it, then it's a need. If it's something you're like, by the way, I was surviving without this. It's 5 days. and I think, I can wait a month. That's a want. But the mindset was immediately. There's what we call delayed gratification. You have to exercise that a lot in the investment. You have to assess. If I put, I'm not saying that now you don't spend on yourself. Your budget has entertainment, family, lunch, clothing has that percentage. And you don't buy clothes every month. You can be saying, I'm saving 3 months, I'm putting something, insurance for your car. You don't have to wait for insurance the end of the year. You realize you are at the gate and you realize my insurance is expiring. No, you can have a sinking fund. A sinking fund is a money market whereby you know my car insurance I pay 40,000, I pay 50, I pay 30, or I pay 60 or 100, depending on the engine or whatever. Then you divide that by 12 and it tells you how much can you be setting aside. If you're building an education portfolio, maybe it's a college, or even the one who have not started, maybe we have someone, you have not started paying the school fees. You can start paying the school fees in an investment account where you have a more control, where you are able to see. Premiums. My time is gone, but I think I'll stop there. SACCOs versus money market fund, they are two separate. They serve different purposes. SACCOs, I would say, you are having a SACCO to access a cheaper or affordable capital. The SACCO will lend you at 12%, reducing balance. When you go to the bank, you're getting almost 18%. And the SACCO, it is, if you don't have a loan with your SACCO, you are not getting the real value. And I'm not saying you go now and take a loan for the sake of it. You're getting a loan to go and invest. It is able to help you to step ahead where your money was not enough. You're able to go ahead, make one more step, and invest that money. So in a SACCO, I wouldn't say you are in a SACCO to get the dividends at the end of the year. Where do the SACCO invest? In our profile, I showed you some of the clients. There was a SACCO there. We have a couple of those SACCOs there. They invest your money. We give them a return. They come and pay you the dividends. So their role is not more of the investment. Their role is the credit creation, cheaper credit creation to the members. That's why you are in that SACCO. So you need to be borrowing, repay, but also you need to know how you're investing that money. That money you are borrowing should be able to be growing. Don't borrow for the sake of it, because I'm saying if you're in a SACCO, you're not getting the real value by not borrowing. Because I'm borrowing your money. I am maybe expanding my business. I am doing something else. Another member is borrowing the same money. Then from the interest that person is paying and what they invested out there, they come and pay you the interest at the end of the dividends at the end of the year. So money market and SACCO serve different purposes. Money market is purely, and what I'll say, we have not just money market fund, investments. We have fixed income or bond funds, we have equities, we have treasury bills. These investments, they serve different purpose from the money market. That's why you need I'll talk more on the money market fund in the next session as I build a portfolio, how it will look like and passive income you'll get. I'll show you that. So they serve two different purposes. The bonds, let me tackle that. Someone asked, I have a treasury bond, which is 3 years and another 20 years and another maybe. We have even seen infrastructure bond of 25 years. I know the person who spoke about bonds went deeper into that, but I would like to say the government has a deficit budget. They finance by borrowing domestic and foreign debts. When you hear you have gotten an IMF loan, we have gotten a World Bank, that's a foreign debt. Domestic, we raise money through either short-term or long-term. The government raises money for short-term through what we call treasury bills. These are short-term for 1 year. There's a 91 day, 182, and 364 paper. We call them papers for short-term, for operations of the government and all that. If the government is engaging in roads, in projects that are more than 1 year and all that, they float a bond, a treasury bond. So T-bill for short term, treasury for short term, treasury bond for long. They float a bond for long. So this bond, if it's meant to build hospitals, roads, the public facility, they float what we call an infrastructure bond. Infrastructure bond comes with a zero interest. We had another one that was issued, I think, month of March, traded at 18.4%, zero tax, a good bond, about 8.4 years, very good deal. We have, there are those we call FXD. When you see FXD1, 02-2024, that's a bond with a tax. And the bonds have different tax depending on the years. If it's a bond of 10 years and below, it will attract 15% withholding tax. If it's a bond of 10 years and above, 15 years and all that, it attracts a withholding tax of 10. So from my experience and my training on the bonds, holding a short-term bonds has a lot of advantages. I'll try to simplify. One is there's something we call yield to maturity or yield curve. The interest, how is the interest moving in the market? Whenever the interest is moving up, the value of the bond reduces. If you bought a bond at 13% and the interest has moved to 17% now in the general market, your bond, if you are going to sell that bond, it will not fetch the way you bought it. There's an inverse, a technical term we say, an inverse relationship between bond performance and the yield, the interest rate. It's when you sit with these guys, they'll guide you on that. So I would prefer the short term. Yeah? In the long term, there's a lot of fluctuations happening. The interest moving. By the time maybe it's maturing, the interest is even higher than what you bought the bond. And there is also an opportunity cost. If the interest is moving that much, and the coupon you're paying on the bond, let's say the interest has dropped today, and you have been paid coupon, the reinvestment of that interest, it means you reinvest at a lower interest rate than what you even bought the bond itself. So I would prefer volatility. We call it a volatility and the time. They are the longer the time, the more the volatile in terms of that bond. It's a bit technical, but when you sit with us, we'll guide you, but you don't have to worry. You can invest if you can invest in a portion of your portfolio in bonds or invest in a bond fund. A bond fund, we simplify the work for you, like a fixed income fund. We now buy those bonds under that fund and manage them, sell, buy, because selling a bond, you buy in the primary market, you will sell it in a secondary market. Secondary market, you have no much control. It is a broker's market. It's a dealer's market. They determine how that market will move. You may sell it at a loss, You may sell it at a loss. But as now the professional in our fund, we know when we do our analysis, we know this is the bid price, or when we are buying it in the whatever, we do arrange. Even the bond that is the month of June opportunity that will come. We always have a ranging, a bidding. We have done our analysis through our model, and we know this bond, this is where we can buy it. If you're an individual, you just buy what we call non-competitive. There's an app with the CBK called DAO CSD, where you're able even to buy that bond and all that. But sometimes you may need the money, and you start selling your bond. Sometimes take you longer to get a buyer. But as the beauty thing, being in a fund, you can access your money within 24 to 48 hours. We are the people who determine where to sell, when to do. So we actively manage that portfolio for you and remove that hassle for you. And this is a regulated fund by the Capital Market Authority. The website, I don't know what happened. We'll try and have it working and show you the funds. Show you all the funds regulated, the companies regulated under that. So I'll stop there. Then, yes.
Come on, let's give a hand to Moses Juguna. Thank you very much. Thank you, Moses. It's good you came. We are really getting value for the teachings that we are getting in this place, aren't you? Amen. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Now, we are going to take a short break. We are going to take a short break, a tea break, and I want us to do this orderly, okay? We will start with the band from this end, the band and the choir. They will go right outside. They turn, they come, they wash their hands, and then they take the breakfast. So we will go table after table, right? Let's do it orderly, in an order way, and I believe it shall be well. Bado sijamaliza. Tusubiri.